So my number two film that shaped my love of movies watching in a group is The Big Lebowski from 1998. This is written and directed by the Coen brothers, starring Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, and Julianne Moore. The IMDb plot summary: ultimate LA slacker Jeff the Dude Lebowski, mistaken for a millionaire of the same name, seeks restitution for a rug ruined by debt collectors, enlisting his bowling buddies for help while trying to find the millionaire's missing wife.
Stone Cold classics, one after the other. Really.
I know, really. Yeah, yeah, for sure. This movie for me, and why I put it on here, is a representation of the type of movie where you watch it in a group because you've seen it 1,000 times, you and everyone in the group, and it's about quoting the movie as it goes through, being like, oh, I can't wait till this scene kind of comes up, knowing where the laugh moments are. Very different from, the experience I was talking about with Star Wars is first time you see it, you don't know what's coming. This is, you literally memorize the script of the film. And that's why it's more fun because you can quote it to other people in the room and talk about your favorite moments and talk over certain parts because everyone's seen it a billion times. It's just a really fun thing that I love to rewatch movies with my close friends. Yeah. So pause there. What are your thoughts on The Big Lebowski?
Yeah. So sadly, I'd actually never watched this movie before. And I'd obviously always heard about.
Oh man,
I know.
I wish I was there to watch this with you. It was so much fun.
I know, so much fun. I mean, I totally see it. Why this would be such a perennial rewatchable, especially for like our generation or maybe even generation above us. I just didn't see it when it came out, and then, because of the reputation this movie gained, that it's kind of a stoner classic. It's a very dude movie. And
literally.
such, literally,
exactly. Dude,
yeah, or El Duderino, if you want to say. I love that line.
That's incredible. Yeah.
But that sort of put me at a distance from it, that I was like, oh, I don't know. But and then, as it always happens with all Coen brother movies, that I always admire them, and that admiration sometimes keeps me at a distance from them. But then when I watch it, I'm totally blown away by what they've accomplished. And I think this might be one of their best. I think it's all the things that they're so good at, where you don't even know if what the plot is per se, or what the story is, because it feels so organic. It's being written as it's being told, but then the time and the characters and everything is just so perfectly drawn out, pitch perfectly written movie from like a dialogue standpoint. And then you also have the technical craft, and then probably some iconic performances. Like, I mean, we'll get to Jeff Bridges, and John Goodman, like the two of them, it's just, and Philip Seymour Hoffman as well. Like,
it's so funny.
Unbelievable. Jeff Bridges, we all have different relationships with him, but I think the way we know him as now, it's because of this movie. This is no hot take, but
right.
Kind of this loosey-goosey, kind of fun kind of guy who's maybe dopey, but also very smart, but soulful. Like, I feel like all of that, it's almost like Big Lebowski kind of became his persona after this movie.
Yeah. Or this was what he was like.
Oh, this was he always was. Who knows? Exactly.
Just sort of like,
it's just so great and so funny. And I'm so glad I finally watched this, and I get it why this would be such a rewatchable.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, like, this movie is one of the most like complicated and nuanced movies in terms of it's about 1,000 things. Like we talked about The Matrix recently. I think that's another movie where you can analyze it from a billion different levels.
Right.
This movie too, like the more I've seen it, sort of new layers of it and themes and what it's actually about kind of opens up. But I've seen this tons of different times. Again, in college, this would be a movie you walk into someone's dorm room, 9 times out of 10 it's either this that's playing or Gladiator. It's like just always on the background. And also I went to there was Lebowski festivals that happen around the country, and I think actually around the world, where it's like a whole week of people that just love the movie, and then at the end of it they end with a screening. And I went to just the screening portion of it in LA, and people were in costumes, like everyone in bathrobes dressed up like the dude and all their favorite characters, and tons of White Russians being served. I had like 3 of them.
Kahluas everywhere.
Exactly. 3 of them during the movie. And that is like similar to the Star Wars experience, but here it's like people literally yelling out the lines as they say them. You're out of your element, Donnie. You're out of your element. Or like, where's the money, Lebowski? Like, oh, this is insanely insanely quotable movie, right? And everyone just there, just like loving this thing and re-experiencing it. It just makes it fun. But it was interesting actually on this rewatch. I sort of identified with like the dude
Mhm.
philosophy for the first time. Like there's also, I should mention too, like there's a religion that formed around this movie called
Mm.
Dudism, where they
Oh
follow,
wow.
where they follow the tenets of what the dude
Goodness.
lives by. And I always thought that was kind of silly. And then for some reason, this watch, maybe it's just the age that I'm in or something. I'm like, yeah, like that guy has it going on. He just, the famous quote at the end, the dude abides. It's like, look, just let people be whatever they want to do. You sort of stay in your lane, just enjoy your life, not overthink anything. But there is a line you draw, like he says, this aggression will not stand, man. When they take his
Mhm.
rug and they won't you don't let everyone walk over you all the time. But you kind of just go through life, be like, look, like I don't know, like I'm just trying to do my thing. Like, why are you bothering me?
Yeah.
And now I kind of get it. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, like maybe that does make you happier. I mean, honestly, everyone in the movie, and one of the themes that I pick up on in this film, I think, is it's different versions of like American masculinity that he
Right.
sort of runs into. And there's different, there's like the cop who's like reactionary. There's the executive, the actual Lebowski who's like the rich sort of version of what masculinity could be. And he's the only one that seems happy in the entire movie.
Right.
And he solves the case eventually and sort of seems like he's living an okay life. Like, so, hey, maybe you should just sort of abide all the time. It's just, I don't know. It landed on me in a weird way. I'm like, yeah, because before I always thought, he's kind of a slacker guy and he's sort of a loser. And yeah, he's unemployed. And I don't know. I didn't identify with him or feel like I was supposed to. And now I'm like, damn, like maybe I should look at the dudism and join that religion. I don't know. It was like converting me over to it.
Yeah. No, both is true, right? Like, I think he definitely represents the generation of people who probably had it at one point, but then things never really worked out. And then they
Mm-hmm.
just were like, you know what? Just screw it all. I'm just going to just do my thing.
Yeah.
But then
Right.
in the process of that, they probably discovered some sense of happiness as well. So I guess both are true. He is kind of a loser. But
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
love about him is that A, he's happy. B, there's no judgment. Like he meets all
No.
these crazy characters. Not once do you see him, judge anybody for who they are, what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Julianne Moore's character and all these people, what are they up to? Like he never asks anything, which is kind of really amazing and quite relevant in a true way. Like we talk a lot about in our culture about kind of being open-minded and such, but
Mm-hmm.
often I feel like that comes with like a big heavy dose of baggage of like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you're still all wrong. There's so much judgment and kind of, even though you're sort of standing for what's quote unquote right and supposed to be more open-minded, but often you're just leading with hate
Right.
versus this guy truly is open-minded
Yeah.
and leads with kindness actually.
Right.
And I
Again,
don't know if that kindness comes from the fact that he's high perpetually
maybe.
or something else.
No, but I think it's a really, again, maybe it's just the age that I'm at now, but I felt him to be a really admirable kind of guy. And his take on life was, kind of live and let live, abide by things. Yeah. People, the nihilists, they have a point of view. Okay.
Right.
Okay. These guys, Jackie Treehorn, some crazy gangster guy, but okay. Like, I'm just going to kind of go with it. I don't want to bother anyone. I just want to get, my originally get, my rug, the rug replaced, and then figure out how I can get out of this whole
Because it
mess.
ties the room well
It
together.
ties the room together. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible. But I think again that theme of his sort of life philosophy, you're right. It's leading from sort of like acceptance and that look, live and let live up to a point. Because again, he at some point he's like, no, I want my freaking rug back. This is not, I want my rug back. And he
Yeah, he
steals
won't
it
be
from
walked
Big
all
Lebowski.
over.
He won't be walked over, right? So there is a subtle difference there versus Donnie, who's Steve Buscemi, who's incredible performance, who just always gets just consistently
Yeah.
him and John Goodman, just the incredible, like the dialogue between the two of them is just amazing. Like, you're out of your element, Donnie. You're out of your element. And he just goes yelling at him and crapping all over him all the time. He just is nonstop hilarious. And then, of course, the big moment too in Lebowski Fest, everyone goes crazy, is when Jesus shows up at the
Right.
bowling alley and they play that awesome Hotel California bit, and he's there, and John Turturro has that great line about not effing with the Jesus, and
Right.
also I want to call out too Roger Deakins, who shot this movie.
Yeah.
Incredible cinematography in this, and one of my favorite shots is actually when they do the Jesus sequence and the camera's sort of panning over the three friends, the dude
Yeah.
and his two bowling buddies, just in their little reactions, and the shots of the camera inside of the bowling ball rolling down the alley.
Very
Just
cool.
ingenious stuff. I mean, I think this is some of Deakins' best work, honestly.
And even though it's sort of hard to kind of like Blade Runner, the new one, and this movie couldn't be more far apart.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's been done by the same people, but you see the greatness of this person,
Totally.
right across. Yeah.
No.
Super fun movie. I'm so glad I watched it. John Goodman, my gosh, like he should be an Oscar winner for this movie, I think.
Oh yeah,
It's just
for sure. Well, the interesting thing was at the time this came out right after Fargo, which Fargo was a huge critical hit and box office hit, and this movie wasn't. It flopped with both critics and the box office. And now I think if you were to ask somebody on the street, have you heard of Fargo or heard of Big Lebowski? People are going to heard of Big Lebowski way more than Fargo. I mean, I love Fargo, and I think it's actually they're a better movie, and I love it. But I think the Big Lebowski's honestly just stood up the test of time more because of just whatever it is. Like, it's hard to kind of even describe the vibe of this film without watching it. And it's very unique, and it's kind of about nothing, but about everything. And yeah, I think this movie is the thing that will be, in 100 years, the Coens will be remembered maybe just for this or mainly for this. I mean, this movie, I think, will stand the test of time.
I think so too.
Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now, or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.